Testing, testing, testing. One, two, one, two. One, two, one, two. I don't know whether audio is working. Testing, 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 testing. Can you still hear me? I can't see the audio bar moving up, so I don't know whether audio's coming through. I'm having to try and use my other live streaming software, which I haven't used for a while. Let me know if you can still hear me. Let me just use the phone. Hang on. So you can hear me now? Yeah, this is normally the audio bar goes up and down, and I can see what it's doing on the screen, but I can't, which seems a bit weird. Now, I don't know what the quality of this live stream is going to be like, but I'll soon find out on my phone. When I use my XSplit broadcaster software, the live streaming quality was dreadful. It was absolutely awful. The frame rate was terrible. So I'm going to have a go on this and see whether it works this time. And I'm basically going to have to explain what I explained on the previous attempt at the live stream before I start. This is City Transport Simulator 2026. I had this game before it was updated to 2026, which was done last week. It's a game which has the optional DLC for trams, which I got a special offer on it at the time. So your choice is whether you want to create tram lines or create bus lines. And in this case, I've got a map of the city, which I have created some bus lines on it, trying to work out how the game sort of works. It's like any other sort of transport game. You've got to try and keep the citizens happy and all of that sort of thing, the usual stuff. There's one or two things to explain also. The other problem is my steering wheel, my Logitech Driving Force steering wheel, basically no longer functions. And I'm using the Thrustmaster Pro game controller. It's actually called the Thrustmaster eSwap Pro controller, which is the fancy controller that has interchangeable pieces that you can put in it. You can take out the left control stick and you can put in a little steering wheel control stick, which I have got. Unfortunately, all the games I've ever tried to drive with are not made to be compatible with this controller. It doesn't get the support from the games companies. So you're going to notice that the steering wheel in the bus is going to be jittery. I've tried to smooth it down as best I can. But the drive is actually quite smooth, but the steering wheel animation is quite jittery. So that's the first thing to explain. And that's mainly because of the controller I'm using. Right, let's cut the chatter. See if we can get this to go to the operation. If we look at the map, the route I'm going to be driving is actually quite a long route. I called it the circular route, which goes right round most of the city. And this game is a bit like doing a real shift on a bus. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, for example, the route that I am on starts at 5 a.m. in the morning, and buses will run at an interval of like 10 minutes, I think it is, 8 or 10 minutes, right up until 11 p.m. at night. Now, the fact that I'm starting a shift means that in theory I could drive the bus all day continually in a circle, picking up passengers if I want to do, like, oh, now I can see my voice moving up and down. I can see the thing moving now on the screen. And so if I wanted to, I could, in theory, drive a proper day's shift on a bus. If I start the session, the first thing to do is to choose whether I want to be driving a tram or whether I want to be driving a bus. Now, needless to say, if I chose a tram right now, I wouldn't be driving on that route that I just showed you, because that's a bus route. It would automatically choose, or it would give me the choice to choose a tram route instead. But what I'm going to do is choose a bus, and that's not what I want. I want to cycle the vehicle type. That's what I want to do. And I want to go to my second bus that I got the other day for getting to level 20 or whatever it was. There's one other thing to complain about, the livery choice. Now, if you go through the livery choices here, the problem with the livery choices is it doesn't show you what the livery choice looks like, which is a bit dumb. If you're ever choosing to change a colour on something in a game, you get a preview of it in the middle of the screen. Well, this game is another one that doesn't do that. So if I change the liveries, you don't get to see what they are until you're actually in the game, which is a bit pointless. You're not watching Virtual Pool, you're watching City Transport Simulator. I have to keep mentioning that just so you don't get confused in the chat. Right, so you go through the colour. I quite like the cyan colour, but as I say, you don't get to see it there, so that's another big oversight by the game developers. There's a number of things in here that are a bit annoying in this game, and I'll explain them when I get to them. So we'll select that vehicle. And now I've got these routes here. If you can see, you've got Route 100, 101, 102. And then we've got the circular route. So the circular route you'll see starts, well, this is where I normally start, up at this end, work my way down, following that purple line, and all the way around the map, which I hasten to add is why I called it a circular route, all the way around the city. So that's the one I'm going to be choosing now. If you're going to be driving this in real time like the game is, the other thing is that you're going to have time between bus stops where you're going to have to sit and wait. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to keep everything on schedule. And the one thing you don't want to be doing is going too early to the next bus stop. You won't be picking up passengers. Plus the fact that does your reputation no good as well. So you're going to find that doing a live stream in this game, if you're going to do it properly, like I try to do, then you find out that you're going to have like a minute wait between stops when you stop and then you start to go to your next bus stop. Now, the other problem that is, or the one way to try and reduce that is not to drive as fast between the stops, literally crawl, and that way you don't have as much waiting time. There is a new feature that they added to the game, and that is being able to take bus fares. So I've got it on rarely because it's a bit of a fiddle for me having to use the mouse instead of the controller to try and get the bus fare correct from the passenger and then give out the change and that sort of stuff. So there might be the odd passenger that wants a ticket. And that's the thing that's going to eat up the time between you stopping the bus and getting to your next stop. Right, so we're going to choose the circular route 107, which is man-made. I made it myself. And then you're going to choose where you want to start the route. So you can see we've got about 30 odd stops. I mean, it's a long route. I can assure you that. So we're going to start at the Industrial Strasse up at the very top. And when you've clicked that, it asks you again, and then you choose the time of day you want to start. Well, I don't want to start at 5, but you can see that if I just click that, I can go to like, say 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and then when you've chosen the clock time, you then choose when to start your shift. So we've done that. I've got the weather on summer. It's defaulted to static, which means that the weather will stay the same. But if I want to, I can go in there and adjust the weather. We'll have it on dynamic. Now, the initial weather type when it starts the game will be fog. We'll choose that. And then as the day goes on, we want to have it where the weather will eventually get to. Rather than a thunderstorm or fog, we'll put it to neutral. Weather transition speed, I'll put it to slow. And I think that's pretty much it. And we'll hit confirm. And then we will start the game. I think we've got there. Now let's see what the quality of the live stream looks like on my phone, because I say it was absolutely dreadful on my XSplit broadcaster. It was just so laggy and choppy. I had to ditch it. Now this looks actually okay at the moment. Right, so we've got the foggy start. Now, one thing to explain, I've got a camera button where I can chop and change the camera. So we've already got passengers on the bus. We've got this misty, foggy start. If you look at the left-hand side of the HUD, you will see that we have a green clock timer counting down. Now that green clock timer tells me that we are counting down until when I should move off. Now I've got everything on automatic because I don't want to be opening doors and shutting doors. I'm just a noob to this game. Right, so now we are in the bus. Now there's the other complaint I've got is that if you look that way, the camera does not auto-center. Loads of people have complained about that. Now I'm shutting the doors. And now I'm indicating left. You have to indicate and you have to observe all the rules of the road. So let's go. You'll see this jittery steering wheel. Now off we go. And we'll just take our time because I want to actually analyse what the quality of the stream looks like via my phone.
The next station is Honichotis Strait. Change here for 100.
Now let's just take our time and see how it looks. Well, being honest with you, it's 100 times better than what it was. It might still be a bit choppy, but it was absolutely horrible earlier on. I suppose I should have chosen the Botrix chat message and changed it to City Transport Simulator, but I was in that much a hurry trying to get this thing to work. So we've got 0.7 a kilometre to go, quite a bit to go to our first or our next stop. But we're in no hurry. Now if you look at the clock in the HUD on the left hand side, you'll see it's all in red. Now that means that anything in red in this game, when you're driving a tram or a bus, it means you're ahead of schedule. So we are 4 minutes ahead of schedule. We've got 4 minutes to play with. So there's no hurry to get to the next stop, because the quicker we get there, the longer we have to wait if we want to keep on a proper time schedule. So the fact that these lights are now red is actually handy. We can sit here and lose some time. And as you go, if you look at the top right of the HUD, you can see I'm at level 20. I've got 87,000, whatever they are, experience points. It's now 8:01 AM in the morning. And you will also see a bar count up as I build up experience points during the shift that I'm doing. Yes, I've hit a number of cars while I've been playing this game. You know, there's a few things that are a bit weird about it. I mean, for example, that car on the lane to the left of me, that's where I've been before, where the actual the route finder thing on the road is telling me to go to, when in actual fact I should be turning the next right turn, and I've cut off cars that have come up the inside, which is a bit weird. Right, so we've now got 100 metres to go to the next bus stop. We're still in plenty of time. There's absolutely no rush. The vehicle menu, if I was driving everything manually in this game, which I'm not, this is just purely for a quick set up and do a live stream, but if I was driving manually, I can use the down key on the controller to change all the various settings for the bus, like the headlights, the wipers, etc. etc. Now we've gone to red again, which is again handy. It just kills the time. And needless to say, all the presets that I've got in for Botrix chat are all relating to VP4, which is predominantly what I live stream on this channel. So I will occasionally live stream other games, so it is a bit confusing when it says you're watching Virtual Pool 4, but I'm sort of relying on people being able to make up their minds that you're not watching a pool game, you're watching a transport simulation game. So lights are still red. We've got a car on our inside, or our offside. No, tell a lie, that's inside, isn't it? And off we go. Yes, I've been watching the snooker all morning. Of course, what do you expect me to say? No, I haven't been watching it. Of course I have. I've got 7 solid days of snooker. So I have. Who the hell's that asking me that question? I need to stop and look at the chat. Now that guy, here's another thing annoying about this game. Watch this. I'm going to stop the bus here where it tells me to stop. But that guy that we passed is 100 metres behind us. He's now going to walk up and come into the bus, I believe. I believe he's a passenger. There he is. Look at him. There he's walking. Now, that's the other thing. You cannot stop closer to the passengers. There he's now in the bus. I tried stopping closer to the passengers, but it doesn't work. You have to go right up to the green marker, stop the bus there, and then the passengers have to walk 100 metres to get to the bus. This might be another one coming. Now, if you look again at the green clock on the left-hand side of the HUD, we've still got 50 seconds before we need to leave the stop. Who was that asking the question? Who's Sam? Is that Fast Eddie? Who the hell's Sam? Right, well, obviously that guy's not coming into the bus, so let's go back to the default camera in the bus if we can get there. Hang on a minute, it takes a while. Right, that is actually not it. No, wait, it was it, hang on. It's the other thing, it doesn't reset the camera. Right, so now we've got 10 seconds, so I'm going to hit the right trigger to close the doors. I'm going to put the left indicator on, hopefully when these lights go to green as well. So we're now leaving the bus stop late. But again, we'll be in plenty of time. I've now gone to level 21. Oh, it's Lard. I think Fast Eddie is. I think Fast Eddie's name is Sam. Is Sam as well? I might be wrong. That's why I thought you were Fast Eddie. Anyway, good afternoon. With 400. No, sorry, no. We've got a bus stop right across the road here. I thought we'd a bit further to go. I think just past this car. But we're in no hurry to get there. And you'll see what I mean when we get here. We'll have probably more than a minute. Alright, there's somebody standing there. Now, she may well come as a passenger and have to walk that 100 metres to get to the bus, which I find is just silly. Right, there's people getting off. And here she comes. She might as well walk home the amount of distance she has to walk to get to the bloody bus. And she's going in the back door, so at least I don't have to do a ticket for her. Right, now again, looking at the clock, red means we're ahead of schedule, so we've actually got a minute and a half to sit here like a real bus driver and have a quick drink while we get nearer the time. If I actually leave the bus stop now, I'm gonna lose points for leaving early, and I'm obviously not going to be providing a good service for customers when I'm arriving earlier and earlier at each stop. But this is also why I was talking about this at the beginning of the stream. When you're doing the route that I have designed for this map, this circular route, and you're driving it in real time and you're adhering to the time restrictions and how long you should be at a bus stop and how long it should take you to the next bus stop, then this route itself is going to take the best part of 2 hours, believe it or not. And once you come to the end of the route, then you can just continue your shift if you wish, or you can quit the game and it'll give you a rundown of how well you've done during your shift that you did. So now we're into the green, where we are still effectively ahead of schedule, but we've got 30 seconds to prepare to move off from this stop. So again, there's no more late passengers coming. I'm hitting the right trigger on my controller to close the doors because, again, as I said, I've got everything on automatic for me being an umpty. And as we get closer to like the 10 seconds, you'll then use your left trigger on the front of the controller to then put your left indicator to let drivers know that you're pulling out. So off we go. And the lights are still at red. You'll probably find that the doors will open again because it still thinks we're at a bus stop. You see how the doors have opened again, so you just hit the right trigger if you're using the controller and the doors will close again if you've got it on automatic. I think they've opened again, the bloody doors. Right. Off we go. Now, see, there's guys cutting me up there to get around that bloody corner. Right.
The next station is Houtfriedhof. Change here for 100.
You can also change the announcer on the bus as well. You can also change the name of the city. You can change the name of each bus stop if you wish. It's obviously based on a sort of German fantasy city, I believe. Tramau, I think that's what it's called. I mean, it might be a real city, I haven't a clue. Now again, you don't get penalised for hitting a curb here, but you just got to take it nice and easy so that you make it round and don't go into the oncoming traffic like I nearly did there. So again, there's absolutely no race to get to the next bus stop. You've got plenty of time. You can obviously adjust the interval you have at each stop. I think I've got it at a minute. I mean, I might be able to cut that down to 30 seconds, and it means you have to be a bit sharper at each stop, particularly if you have a paying passenger who wants a ticket. They're all standing there, and I'm going by them half a mile to get to the place where I should be stopping, and they've all got to walk to the bus. I mean, that's dumb. You know, the first thing you should be doing is stopping right where the passengers are. Here they come. That's the bit that's funny, is, you know, how far the poor buggers have to walk to actually get into the bus. Now, anybody that walks to the front door of the bus is somebody that's going to want a ticket, and I'm just glad they don't, because I can't be bothered doing tickets. Or you've just reached level 11. Is that what you were saying there? I missed that. I think I'm at well, Higgins should be the favourite, but the thing with Carter is he doesn't care who he's playing. He'll try his heart out, so he will. I think he's still got a frame in the front, isn't he? I think he's still a one frame lead, so Higgins is he's work to do. So you can press, again, I'm talking about controls when you're using a controller, not a steering wheel. If you press the right stick in, you can zoom in to 3 levels like that, and you can look at people way down the street, you know, people walking around. Right, we're coming to that point where we'll close the doors. We'll then get the left indicator going and ready to go, and the lights are green at the moment as well, which is good. Might not be like that when we head out. No, they're just about to turn red. Hang on, change indicator. Oh, I've just read that. It's the bloody Botrix that's saying that you've moved to level 1. I thought you were talking about you had the game. And you can have a look at the ugly passengers. I mean, is that a family? What is that? Is that a family that's there? And we're still waiting to go green. Off we go. Now you can see that the experience combo is counting up on the right hand side. And that's basically how you build your points up, by doing everything right. You know, by not speeding.
The next station is Langstrape.
By leaving at the right time, by getting there on time. It's all the usual things that you have to adhere to. Collisions with other vehicles, you know, ignoring traffic signs, traffic lights. You will lose points for all of that stuff, as I have already found out. And remember, it's only 8:15 in the morning, so this is obviously should be peak time in terms of people going to work. But there's not that many pedestrians around. There we go. I just feel sorry for the passengers at the bus stops. That's the first thing I noticed, that the passengers are having to walk 100 metres to get to the bus stop. Every time. That's nobody sounding their horn at me, because I've done nothing wrong. There's also a Vienna DLC out for this game as well. I think the price they're asking for the season pass is ridiculous. They're wanting €64 for the season pass to get all the DLCs, and there's no way I'm paying that. No way on earth am I doing that. But I think this route that I've created is probably about the longest route you could probably create in the game. I just wanted to see how far I could build up the route. And again, I'm not sure whether to indicate here or not, but I always indicate anyway. That way you don't get caught out. I mean, it doesn't fine you for indicating at the wrong time. But it fines you for not indicating at all if you're turning left or right. Right. So, all of those passengers have got off there. There's nobody, I think, waiting to get on. Oh, there's somebody. Where did they appear from? Where were they standing? I never even noticed them. And luckily, again, nobody wants a ticket, which keeps me quite happy. And you've got to cycle around the cameras to get into your seat again. There we are. Now, when you get into your seat, the camera can be random like this, which is another annoying thing. You know, I'm actually looking around at the back of my seat there. So here we go. Again, the clock's at green, so again, if you're going to adhere to the time, you will sit here until that counts down near to the 0, or you'll be moving off too early again. But this is the thing that they actually added to the game, and again, it's another thing I forgot to actually start. If I zoom in, and I'm using my mouse to do this, if I hit OK, if you actually move the mouse or the cursor over the buttons, although they're in German, it does have English translation, particularly obviously for the tickets. This is for print, that sort of thing. Right, so we've got about 13 seconds to go. Again, right trigger to close my doors automatically. Hit left on my front triggers to stop the indicator to the right, and left again to stop it, to start it going left, so that it lets vehicles know that I'm pulling out. And then right to cancel it. Lights are at green, we're good to go.
The next station is Schulberg.
Again, I'm going to quick glance down at my phone to see what it looks like. I suppose the frame rate could be better. But again, like I said, the first attempt I did earlier on was absolutely dreadful. And I deleted that very rapidly. So we're turning left here, I believe. You've got no GPS on the bus. You've just got this, the marks on the road, the chevrons on the road to follow. Speed limits within this city, they range from 30 kilometres an hour to 50 kilometres an hour, up to 70 kilometres an hour. And again, you have to adhere to those to get your points, to get your experience points. Most annoying thing for me is that steering wheel being so jittery. I mean, I've messed about with that for an hour or so to try and get it as functional as possible with this controller. Like I said, it drives smoothly enough, it's just that the steering wheel is very, very jittery in the animation. So here we go. Let's see who gets in here, if anybody. Maybe not. Oh, there they come. Again, they've had to do the marathon to get there. Or are they coming into the bus? Oh, there we go. A quick flick of the body. A quick body swerve and they're in the bus. Now, if you notice, the fog is actually lifting in the game as well. We started off misty and foggy. We've still got high cloud. And the mist is beginning to clear. Right, so now we've actually well ahead of schedule here. We're virtually 2 minutes ahead of schedule. And we're just sat here at a bus stop. I could keep going until eventually I'm like 10 minutes ahead of schedule. But at the end of the trip, at the end of the route, my results would be crap. Now, I think if I aim the camera down, if I hold the A button, I can get out of the driver's seat, and then if I use the mouse, I can go up and have a look at the ugly passengers and waste some time. Look at the colour of this guy's hair. You got a ticket. Right, so, I mean, the buses are actually quite nice looking inside, I'll give them that. The only problem is I can't sit down in any of the seats. I think when I say they're quite nice looking, this looks a bit weird, does it not? The way these two seats are sitting. And yet, you've got those two seats sitting okay, and these looked as if they've just been thrown in the bus in the last minute. So that's definitely weird looking. In fact, is that one sitting higher than the other one? I think that one's sitting higher because the floor rises up there. Yeah, that's where the wheels of the bus are. Looks a bit weird looking, but then again, why is it not doing it that side? So that looks a bit weird. Far be it from me to be critical about a game, but I mean, that just looks weird. Right, so we're wasting enough time. I think if we now look at the seat, we can hit the F button and go in and sit down, and we are just ready to go. We're going to be a fraction late, but that's going to mean nothing. Quick look in the mirror. Off we go. Now, is this the one where I'm in the outside lane but I want to turn right? I think it is. I think this is the one where I've collided. But you see how it's got me in the outside lane? It's got me in the outside lane, but I want to turn right. I think that means I can go. So if you get a vehicle coming up the inside here, I've cut them off about twice or three times. So I think the way the route's mapped out on the road with those chevrons, it should be putting me in the inside lane to turn that corner. Right, anyway. On we go. Now the other thing also is if I hit the... I think if I hit the escape, let me hit the escape. If I quickly hit the escape button, it will show me where I am on the route. Now, this will give you an idea why I said this route can take about 2 hours. That's where we started. These are the stops that we've got to so far on this purple line, and that's where we are now. So we've got all the way down there to go. I don't know why it goes in there like that. That's weird. For some reason, it's decided to miss out that stop. As far as I know, I clicked them all. But anyway, on we go all the way down and round, and then all the way back up this side of the map until we finish up there. So that is quite a journey. Now this is a giveaway. It's not traffic lights, so I've got to be careful. This joker here's deciding he's obviously going round the corner. A quick look that way. I don't see anything there. That wasn't bad. Now, nobody at this stop by the look of it. Is there somebody hiding in that bus shelter there? Quick look. No, there isn't. So nobody getting on, nobody getting off. Just like the local buses nowadays, virtually empty. And again, we are well on schedule. While we're waiting, I'll show you that bus menu. You then use the left and right controls and the control of the little, the little cross buttons. That brings that up, and then you can go with the left and right on the front of your controller to move across. If you want to drive the bus manually, you've got the gear selector, you've got the emergency brake, the door controls, the bus can kneel as well. You've got the lights, internal and external, you've got the thermometer, you've got the wipers, temperature control, all of that stuff. And that is a heck of a lot to be messing about with, which, needless to say, I don't have the time to be doing that. Now, what does that say there? Currently no departures. Well, I'm about to depart. I've got a minute to go before I depart. There's somebody wandered into the bus late there. And this is what I'm saying about why you have to wait at the bus stop until the right time to leave. I've got less than a minute to go now, but that was a late passenger arriving in terms of getting on the bus. But they're actually on time. They're late in terms of the time we've sat here, but it does show you why you have to wait, because people can wander up and just decide they want to catch the bus. And if I had left the stop, that would have been big points against me there. Right, so we'll try and get the right internal view here again. And we have got 25 seconds to go. Again, this is another one of these bits on the map where I'm not sure whether I should signal left or not. I mean, this is the main route, but we've obviously got a road going to the right up ahead. And just for the sake of it, I'm going to signal left. That way, first of all, I'm signalling left to leave the stop, and also to keep going left as we are on the road ahead, so that I don't get done by the game for saying that I didn't signal. So I am now going to signal left to leave the stop. We're at green at the moment. Now you see those signs there. There are tram signs and there are bus signs. That's the other thing to point out. Now if you look at that sign there, wait a minute to see if we can get the zoom to work. If you look at that sign there, that's a tram sign for stop. Now when that goes down to the bottom light and it goes to a sort of left angle, that means green to go. And that's where you also have to learn the signs for the trams in this game. I don't know why it's got that there, because if you look at the road, there are no tram lines on this road. And that just seems like a mistake to me as well. There are no tram lines here for a tram to run on, yet they've got a tram sign there. Now that's green to go. We can now go. If we can get the doors to shut, that is, because it still thinks we're at a bus stop. And that's going to do us again because we didn't move quick enough. I'm going to have to go to the external view to catch that that light. The other thing obviously is that these are proper branded buses that are in the game, and trams. I'm keeping an eye on that sign there. Right, there we go. We're good to go. Need to stop that bloody indicator. So here's another one where we're in the outside lane, but we want to turn right, I believe. At least I think that's what it is. Now I've got to double check if there's anything coming up the inside. So we've moved off the sort of main route on the map to the more sort of residential area. Or at least this point is anyway.
Können Sie nicht normal fahren?
At least the indicators go off automatically. I'll give them that. But there's certainly a number of things they want to put right in the game. I mean, they don't ruin the game. They're just little finishing touches that need done properly. Again, doesn't look as if there's anybody here. One person, couple of people getting off. Let's see if anybody wanders up this time like that last stop. Well, there's somebody wandering up. They might be up high. There's somebody else deciding to get off. Oh, maybe they're coming up to get a ticket. Oh, thank God for that. They walked past the bus. Right, so no potential passenger. Oh, here's somebody else wandering up. This could be a passenger, because we've still got 40 odd seconds before we're meant to leave. Or am I just imagining things? Is that somebody just standing there? Maybe that's somebody standing there waiting in the next bus. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, they're not making any movement forward. So now, if we get back into the driver's seat, eventually, keep hitting the camera button, we'll eventually get there. There we go. I'm now going to close the doors, shut that indicator off, get ready to indicate left to come out, check the mirror signal maneuver. Green light to go. Try and centre the camera up a wee bit.
The next station is Maryplatz.
Well, it looks as if there's maybe potentially passengers here. Here they come. I'm bound to get somebody that wants a ticket soon enough. I can't go a full circuit in this map without having somebody wanting a ticket. Oh, they're walking past. I panicked there. I just dread having to give out tickets and get the right change. It's just a bit of a chore. But I've got off lightly. And the sky, you'll notice, is beginning to clear. They're beginning to get a wee bit of blue sky. I quite like the weather system in this. Apart from the snowy weather, which is a bit sort of semi-broken in terms of changing cameras. You change cameras, and in some cameras it isn't snowing, and in the main camera it is snowing. That's a bit of a bug that needs looked into. Right, so now that where I was looking down in the seat, I don't know what bloody camera setting that was, but you can just keep pressing the camera button, you'll eventually get there. So we've now still got a minute to go. I'm going to have a quick drink. And this is why you've got to be patient playing this game, I think, because if you're not patient and you just keep closing the doors and running off from the bus stop, you're going to have a ruined report at the end of the full journey. And this is why I say it's, you're like driving in real time, adhering to the time for each bus stop and how long you have to wait, and then you have to move off. So I think there's a road up there that's going to the left, and we want to continue straight. And once again, if you're not sure, you know, the road bends round to the right, so to make sure you do things right, just signal right anyway. That way the game won't catch you out with some stupid rule that you didn't signal at the right time, which I've been caught out before. Right, we're closing the doors. The lights are green at the moment, although they'll probably change. But in fact, we're going to try and beat the lights. We'll go a wee bit early, just a fraction early. And like I said earlier, if you signal at the wrong time, you don't get done for it.
The next station is Florian Strait.
This is the animation. That jittery steering wheel really bugs me. I'm going to tweak it again to see if I can smooth that down a bit better. It just looks a bit awkward, but you know, the bus still steers pretty well. I think it's because the steering wheel is constantly trying to centre each time. If I turn right, you know, you can see it's constantly trying to centre. As soon as I let go of the little wheel, it's always trying to centre. And I think that's what makes it jittery. Yeah, it's brightening up to be a reasonably nice day. Looking at the sky now. Remember, if you were right here at the beginning, we had a foggy, misty start, and that has gradually, just like a normal day, it's gradually sort of burned away, and the clouds are just beginning to part slightly. Well, this is a tight one. This is a tight one. Look at how far I am out around the corner. Almost in the other lane. Oops. Now we're driving on one of the tram routes in the game. Couple of people there. Well, that won't be a perfect stop because I didn't stop at the green marker. Oh, they're getting in the front door, but nobody wants a ticket. Good. And again, of course, I'm still a minute ahead of schedule. I think for the next time I drive this route, I'm going to cut that time down, if I can, to 30 seconds, and then we won't have to wait as long. But this Mirillus Action software works a lot better with this game than XSplit Broadcaster does. I don't know why that is, but I think XSplit Broadcaster uses a lot more resources than Mirillus Action does. Again, we're down to about 50 seconds. Quick look around the bus. Oh, she's walking out the bus. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can reverse a bit. And open the door for her. There we go. She'd have been stuck there. I never even noticed her. Didn't notice that she wanted it. But there's more people coming in. Somebody else coming in the bus there. Another latecomer. Got another customer? Yeah, it is. There we go. We picked up 2 unexpected passengers there just at the last couple of breaths of the clock counting down here. Now we'll shut the doors. Oh, we're still in reverse. Hang on, I just need to keep pressing the button to get it into gear. There we go. Right. So now we're leaving a bit late, but we're fine. But the bonus is we got those couple of passengers. So now we've got 2 signs up above. The one on the left side is the one for the tram, and that means stop that crossed line. And obviously the one on the right is the normal traffic light. So we're at red. Now that traffic light on the left will go to a straight line at the bottom light once it moves down to let us know to go ahead if we were actually driving a tram. So there is training in the game to let you know the differences with these different light signals that you have. There we go. So we're good to go. If I can change the camera. ...300 metres to the next stop, so again, we just do not need to rush. We can crawl there and we will get there in plenty of time. You'll notice in the middle of the speedometer there's a little gradient symbol. It shows 2%, and that will count up to maybe 3% or more here because we're going up a slight hill. It's now gone to 3%. But not that there's any great gradients on the map. At least nothing that I've driven so far. This is probably about the steepest road that you'll drive on the map. It's now up to 5%. 6% as we get to the brow of the hill. ...100 metres to the next bus stop. And our experience points are adding up quite nicely here because I don't think we've broken any rules so far, which is a first for me. And there's a few people waiting here, but again they're going to have to walk 100 metres to get to the bus. One of these passengers here is going to want a ticket. I can probably guarantee it because I haven't had one yet, and although I've got it set to rarely wants a ticket, there's quite enough people there that I'm bound to have one of them want a ticket. Let's see what happens. Let's just move the camera around. Well, there's, she looks as if she's coming to the front of the bus. She might want a ticket. Nope, she's not. You just give me a body swerve. They're all piling into the back of the bus. Oh, here, oh, they're getting into the middle of the bus. Good. Another one in the middle of the bus. Another one in. And is this the last passenger? Again, we've still got a minute to go before we need to leave. So we might get latecomers coming. Nope, that one's gone. Using the zoom. Yeah, I'm much happier with the quality of the stream. I mean, it probably is lacking 1 or 2 frames in the frame rate count, but it is a lot better than what it was at the first attempt this morning. Right, so we'll get back into our driver's seat somewhere. If we keep pressing the button, we will eventually get there, and there we are. We're down to the last 15 seconds, so once again, close the doors. The traffic lights ahead are just going to red. We're ready to move off. and because the bus is on automatic for everything, we move up to these traffic lights, the bus still thinks it's at a bus stop, and it will go to open the doors again. So I'll just need to press the trigger to close them. Let's go. Now, hopefully that should have closed the doors. Yes, it did. So we're turning right. And again, the tram signals are the one in the lower section there with the two cross lines to say that you can't go at the moment. So everything's at red. So I'm signalling left to pull out, and then I'm signalling right to turn right. I mean, it sounds obvious, but you have to do it so that you don't lose points. And this bugger's turning the corner right in front of me. What the hell's he up to? The lights are at green there, so again we're good to go. We're now turning left.
The next station is Star Grabber. Change here for 102.
Well, we managed to get round in one piece, still with this jittery steering wheel. I'm up in the curb, trying to centre the camera as well. Again, it's the annoying thing. Now you can see we've got a lot more blue sky. So I do like the way this. I like the way this weather advances. I do like that. And we've got half a kilometre to the next stop. We missed that stop out there. That's not on our route, that bus stop that we just passed. And now we are going right. And we're green. Check the inside, see if anybody's trying to cut me up inside. Lights have gone to green, we're okay, we can keep going. Quick check in the HUD, we've got 0.3 of a kilometre to go to the next stop. Now we're into a 30 mile an hour, a 30 kilometre an hour zone, so we'll keep the speed down. Bus stop ahead. Well, one person standing there. Probably lose a few here, I think. There we go. Now, is that person going to be wandering up as a passenger? And the answer to that is no. They're remaining where they are. At least I think they are. Here's somebody, well, somebody was coming up, they've decided to do a U-turn, or somebody, oh no, that's a car that's going up behind us. Again, we've got almost 2 minutes to wait before we really should move off. And of course we're holding up all the traffic because they don't overtake in this situation because it's one-way traffic each way. Not a wide enough road to be doing that. Quick look at the map and see where we are. You can see we've got a long way to go. I told you, I warned you at the beginning, we started up there and we're probably barely halfway through this schedule. We've got another 2 stops before we get to the bottom part of the city. And then work our way. Oh, there's something to claim there. I never claimed that. I've just realised that. Then we're going to head north again. No sign of any last minute passengers coming. There's no pedestrians there at all. There's somebody there, but they won't be coming to the bus, will they? That person walking up there. Will they do a quick left turn and head to the bus? No, no chance. Right, we're now down into the green section of the timer. Less than a minute to go. So we can basically literally crawl to the next bus stop. We will be there in plenty of time. It just means we'll have slightly less time to wait before we can move off. So we will get in preparation. We'll close the doors. And you can see there's a lot more sort of blue sky appearing. The way the weather's transformed. That bloody bus started moving off on its own accord there. So we're going to move off a bit early. We've been holding up all the traffic. Let's go.
The next station is Eglandsdorf.
I'm a bit confused with those lights here. I think those lights were at green for the tram, and I should have actually moved there. But now they're all at red. But again, this just eats up the time a bit more. Let's have a look around. There's somebody away across the street there. Oh yes, I can open the window as well, yeah. You can open the side windows and stuff like that. I think we should be okay to go. I think that means okay. Half a kilometre to the next stop. I will take it nice and easy. I'm looking at that on the stream now. I'm getting a bit of buffering and it's a wee bit choppy looking. Green to go. Gonna signal to pull in. Well, this looks, prospects are good here for getting a paying passenger who wants a ticket. A lot more bodies here.
Guten Morgen.
There's, oh, I thought that was somebody wanting a ticket. They don't. That's good. Oh, we're getting a lot more passengers. I think this is the busiest the bus has been. Quick look at them. And again, time for a quick drink. One thing I've noticed is that I don't think they'll introduce double deckers to this game, and I'll tell you because I think I can prove why in a minute. Because looking up ahead, there looks like a low bridge, and I'm not convinced that this bridge up ahead. I think it's a bridge anyway. I think that's a bridge. It looks like maybe a rail bridge. I don't think you could get a double-decker bus underneath that up ahead. Nobody else going to come at this time. Close the doors. We'll move, we'll try and move right on time this time. But we've got a fair bit of traffic coming up on the outside there. So we need to be careful here now. That car has slowed down because we've signalled to come out, which is good. Now, my question is can you get a double-decker bus under this bridge? I just thought it was a bit low. It looks a bit low to me. Maybe you can. Now, just adjusting something on my phone there. Right, I think we're ready to go. I think we're in the sort of city centre now, big office buildings around this area. Well, this is taking a time. There we go. I like how those people were walking forward and then both of them did a U-turn. They saw it was me driving the bus and decided, right, we're not having any of this. But there are still people walking towards us. Now they, again, could be potential passengers. You just never know, because we're still within the scheduled stop time. Oh, this person, are they going to be a ticket buyer? No, they're not. They're going to be nothing. They're heading out. Right, so we'll close the doors. We're going to be turning right, but we've got to signal left before we take off. Go through these lights, or again, we'll lose points because of it.
The next station is Rosemarkt.
It's good that they've got these traffic lights here into that red, because that just eats up more of the time. Quite a few people here. Question is how many of them are getting on the bus? Quite a few of them by the look of it. Now the bus is quite busy. And got less than a minute to go to take off. Quick check on the inside mirror to see if there's anybody walking up towards us. There isn't. We'll close the doors. Well, after that misty, foggy start, it has turned out a nice morning. We're now at 8:52 a.m. We started at 8 a.m. So we're now 52 minutes into this route. And I did warn at the beginning that it can take up to 2 hours. So off we go.
The next station is Simulstor.
And the announcer does say that we have reached the terminus. You know, that we're at the end of the route. It does warn the passengers of that. Again, another tight squeeze here. It wasn't bad. And we're turning left up ahead. And we're up to... That said level 0 there. Did I read that wrong? Let me get that zoom thing fixed. That's better. Now we're at level 21. 99,148 experience points. 55 minutes into the route. Almost 2 minutes before we leave the stop, and still a few passengers on the bus. Now we need to have a quick look at where we are. So this route, this is a man-made route, one that I made myself. If we look at the full map, there's where we started the route, all the way down here, called a circular route, because that's what I've tried to make it as best as I could. And we are probably halfway through this route itself. So we're already about an hour into the shift, and we've probably got certainly another hour possibly to go. And once again, a reminder for any latecomers, the red clock on the left of the HUD is telling we're ahead of schedule, and that needs to count down 1 minute and 30 seconds before we really should be leaving the bus stop. And the fact that we're on the inside lane on the bus stop side, we need to pull out to that left side to get around this corner. The good thing about the traffic is that, you know, when you do signal to turn left and there is vehicles coming up behind you, they will, provided you have it in time, they will actually let you come out. There's still the potential to get the odd customer, the odd passenger wandering up here. No sign of them though, looking in the mirror. No sign of anybody. And no traffic coming up behind us either, which is good. Getting a wee bit of flicker there in the graphics, just to zoom up on that. I don't know what that is. What is it? Is it I think it's a cage that's holding the rubbish bins for the business premises around about, but at a distance it's flickering a wee bit. It's not flickering now that I've zoomed out a bit. It was flickering a bit earlier on there, but it seems to actually have settled. Right, so now we will close the doors, signal left, and wait on the lights going to green, and we should be fine. So now we are, we've got that minute where the clock's counting up in green, but if it gets to beyond, I think the minute, it then will go red to mean that we're now behind schedule. And all because of these traffic lights here. But there's no need to panic. Right, so now we can go left. Apart from running up the curb now and again, I haven't committed any major traffic violations so far. There's still plenty of time for me to do that. And we've got loads of blue sky. It's a very nice day. What a change in the weather since we started the shift this morning. All that mist and fog going around, and now it's nice and warm and sunny. And off we go. Now we've got 3 or 4 passengers up at the front of the bus. This has got to be a paying passenger. I've got to be a ticket this time.
Morgen.
Got to be. No. Oh, I'm amazed. I am amazed that one of them wasn't a paying passenger. So this is Shuji Nakamura Plaza. That's the Nakamura used to play for Celtic, Japanese footballer. And of course, it wouldn't surprise me if there was Japanese connections, involvement in the making of this game, even though it sort of looks like German-based, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Japanese influence to it as well. "30 seconds to go." Check the right mirror, no passengers walking up towards the bus. We'll close the doors. We've now got red traffic lights ahead. We're ready to move off. As soon as they turn green, we'll just put the left signal on to pull out. There we go.
The next station is Clement Street.
I think we turn left up here. So now we can go left. Signal just went to green at a nice time there.
Können Sie nicht normal fahren?
Here they come. 2 off, 2 on. Now I think, let me just go to the main map again. I think this is maybe part of this. There's a southern extension to the map, which I got as part of a deal when I bought the original game, when it was just City Transport Simulator. This is all part of this season pass thing that they're doing, which costs €64.99, which is very expensive. But I got a good deal sometime before Christmas. It was, I think it was the winter sale that I got the game. There's new bus DLC that's out. I don't need any more buses. Certainly not paying for them. Right, so we have, again, looking at the red clock, we have more than a minute waiting here in case any other passengers pop up, and again, just to keep us on schedule. This is why I said right at the very beginning, it's like, driving a real driver's shift. If you're going to adhere to the times set for the game, whatever you set for the route, the waiting time between when you stop at the stop and when you're due to leave the stop, as long as you adhere to those, then you will have, on more than one occasion, like I have on this trip, been sitting waiting on the clock counting down until we get into the green zone, when then we can take off. But the closer you take off to the zero, the more accurate your time is. And as long as you keep the doors open while you're sitting at the stop, anybody watching this stream earlier, you'll see that passengers can wander up at the last second to get on your bus. And all of that, potentially missed passengers, they affect your overall rating at the end. So at the end of this journey, I will get a report on how I've done. And when we look at where we are on the map and on the purple route, we've got all the way up there to go, a whole number of stops there to go, all the way across until we get to the end, which is Benhartsen. I think that's what it's called, which I think is also what's on the front of the bus as the route destination. So I'm pretty certain that in the not too distant future, a patch will come out to address the auto center of the camera and actually add that to the game, because every other good driving game has that, where you can move the camera that way, and then if you leave it, especially things like Fernbus Simulator and Eurotruck, they both have that feature where if you leave it long enough, the camera will center again automatically. And that's one big, huge oversight that they've had with this game. They didn't have that in from the start. So now, we close the doors. Signal to pull out. No traffic coming. Lights are at red. We're turning right. Traffic light ignored. Now there's the first thing that's done me on. Now why is it done that? Because I think it's because I've crossed that white line there. I think that's where I've made the mistake. I was using the hatched line, but that's actually the walkway for customers crossing over. I should have actually stopped at that white line there where the bus is over right now. So there's the first main mistake that I've made during the trip. So that's a blemish on this journey.
The next station is Helpswake.
300 meters to go to the next bus stop. Lights are at green. Left turn. Oh, a big exodus here, I think. Couple of passengers walking through the bus shelter to get in the bus. Straight ahead, and then again, we're once again well ahead of schedule on the clock. We are 1 minute 58 in the red, which means we are almost 2 minutes ahead of schedule. That's why we have to wait here until we count down back into the green and closer to the zero before we take off. Again, it just gives you time to have a quick look around. I wonder why it doesn't let me go that way. I can turn to the left as far as that, where it'll allow me to adjust mirrors and things like that, but it'll allow me to turn right round this way so I'm facing the back of my seat. Again, it just seems a bit weird. Anyway, so as far as I can recall, one notable violation of the Road Traffic Act by myself. Right, we're now into the green where we could effectively move off right now, but the clock's still at 45 seconds, so we'll leave that for a little bit. Quick check in the right mirror, the near side mirror, no potential late passengers coming. Doesn't look like it. So we will close the doors. And now the lights are at green, we'll just head out. It's now showing that we're 4 minutes ahead of schedule. The time it takes us to get to this bus stop and the time we'll have to wait. So we've got half a kilometre to go. So we're just going to crawl there. Like this 25 kilometres an hour will do nicely for me. And hopefully the odd red light just to have us waiting for a little while as well. Like this one will do nicely, thank you. Stay well behind the white line. Oh, we've gone to green a lot sooner than I wanted to. I think we're virtually empty, but we're taking on a couple. Is this person buying a ticket? Nope, she's just wandering past. And again, it's sit around and twiddle your thumbs time. Rat House Nord is the road that we're at, or the bus stop that we're at. Speed limit in this area is 50 kilometres an hour. We've still got a minute and a half before we need to take off. Quick look around, see if there's anybody coming. Now, there's a guy wandering over that might be taking the bus. Is that a guy or a girl? I don't know. Nope. Oh, here's another one that might be it. No. No. Again, just trying to wind me up. All that revenue wandering away. So we're now in the green. Once again, close the doors. Don't think anybody's going to show up now. Cancel the indicator because we're ready to indicate to the left in case there's any following traffic that we're about to pull out from the bus stop. Again, everything's all based around you adhering to the rules of the road to start with. Making sure your indications are good at the appropriate time, and stopping as nice as you can at each bus stop. And then, of course, the most important one of all is keeping to the schedule. You know, we've got like 10 seconds to go virtually before we really should leave. So we're going to signal left to pull out. We're going to make sure the doors are closed again because I've just braked and the doors have opened automatically. And now we're good to go. Cancel the signal.
The next station is Simulstor. Change here for 102.
Well, this is certainly a quiet part of town. Not even a pedestrian to be seen. And a couple of passengers have gone. Here somebody might be coming. Who might be coming to the bus. Somebody else as well. potential passengers. No. But a flickering in that building as well. I've noticed the last time that happened, when I zoomed in like that and then zoomed out again, it fixed itself, but it isn't going to do it this time. I think that's just something to do with the way they've placed those assets there, those two buildings. They're flickering a bit. Now we're holding up the traffic behind us. We're making a right turn. Now again, the fact that you're making a right turn, it's always good to make a left indication that you're pulling out, first of all, so that you're making sure you're not breaking any rules. As I mentioned earlier, you don't get done for indicating at the wrong time. You get done for not indicating at all. Now let me just reset that zoom and then try and get into the cab. There we go. So we're still indicating that we're parked up here at a bus stop. So now the clock's in the green, counting down 40 seconds. So we should move off. And just prior to that, we'll cancel the indicator, go left to pull out, and then go right in the indicator to turn right. You've just got to remember, I mean, if you drive a car in real life, I mean, these are things you would do automatically anyway. But particularly in this game, you have to remember that all the time as well. So we'll close the doors. Nobody else is coming now at this time. We'll cancel that signal. And hopefully these lights are about to change to green, which would be a nice timing because we've got less than 10 seconds to go. I'm going to signal left to pull out, and they're going green. We're good to go. I'm now cancelling them and turning right with indicator. So everything's done all legal and above board, and it keeps the game referee happy that I haven't broken any rules there.
The next station is Gothes. Change here for 105 and 102.
Now, anybody who's a late comer to the stream, there is an explanation for the flickery steering wheel, the way it's flickering around. It's the way I've got it set up. It needs tweaking a bit more, but it's very difficult to tweak this, to get rid of this jitteriness with the steering controller I'm using. I'm not using a steering wheel. My steering wheel's broken. Again, it drives smooth. It's just the fact the steering wheel is the actual in-game steering wheel, as you look at it, animated, is very jittery. It's very, very sensitive. Well, this is a busy stop. Now, so far in the whole journey, I've not had a paying passenger who wants a ticket. I can't go a full trip in this route without a paying passenger. I'm thinking I've got to get one at some point, but it doesn't look like it's going to be this stop. Now, there looks like a bug in the game. Have you noticed that? That looks like through the skylights on the roof of the bus, you can actually see the road surface down below. Notice that? Although you can see you can see the passenger sitting there. You can actually see the road surface. You don't see the bottom of the bus, so there's another bug. You know, these are all fiddly little things that need fixing. From that camera view, you're actually seeing the road surface. You're not seeing the internal floor of the bus. And the passenger's foot is actually sitting on the road surface by the look of it. It's crazy looking. These little things are things that need addressing in the game. If you're going to do a game, you've got to get it finished eventually by patching it up. And, you know, that camera view there from the top of the bus does not do it justice, I'm afraid. You're looking at the road surface through the actual roof of the bus, which is crazy. But I'm sure they'll get enough feedback on it and they'll actually get it fixed. Right, so again, this could be a last minute passenger coming up here. You never know. We'll will them into coming into the bus. Oh no, she's giving us a cold shoulder. Yeah, not interested at all. Off she goes. Right, let's get into the... Oh, here's somebody coming. Did she do a U-turn there? She did. Just to fool me, she did a U-turn. There you go. We'll get back into the driver's seat eventually. There we are. Right, so now we can definitely close the doors. Again, not forgetting to signal left to pull out. There's no traffic coming anyway. Red light just gone to green, which is very handy.
The next station is Busbahnhof. Change here for 100.
Busbahnhof, like bus station, I think that might mean. I'm not sure. I haven't the foggiest idea with German. But it might be something along those lines. Oh, green light. Oh, I wasn't paying attention there. People getting off. Looks like a good few people getting on. Yeah, a fair stack of people. My right stick on this controller wants to keep drifting to the bottom of the screen each time you notice that, which is a bit annoying. Yeah, there it's doing it again. Right, quick look at how far we have to go on this circular route that I managed to make. Well, we've got what looks like where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 10 stops to go until the end of this route. And then once I get to the end of this, I think it'll ask me if I want to start the next scheduled shift, which you could do and do a full day's driving You know, if your shift is like 8 hours, you could, you know, potentially do that, because this particular route has a schedule from 5 a.m. in the morning to 11 p.m. at night. And if I want to, I can just keep driving and doing those shifts each time. I've got a number of other buses on this route, but I've yet to see one. I don't think I've saw one in this route so far. Coming down to the last minute again. Well, I don't know how long this stream has been going, but I did mention at the beginning it could take up to 2 hours to do this actual route. And it's certainly very much heading that way. Now we're in the green with a minute to go. Quick look in the mirror again. See if anybody's appearing out the woodwork to come as a passenger. We're still at level 21. We're now 105,060 experience points. So we're probably more than halfway to level 22. At the end of this, I'll also have emails from my bosses telling me that I've got another bus open or something like that I can add to my fleet. And I'll see that all at the end of this route before I quit and go and get my dinner, because I am starving. We will close the doors now. Cancel that signal. Quick look in the left mirror, see if anything's coming. Mirror signal manoeuvre. Always remember the rules of the road. And we can basically go now. Out we go. Cancel the signal.
The next station is Ringenstenstrape.
Well, that's the bus station there, because there's all the bus stops. And that's why it's called the Busbahnhof, because it is the bus station. Traffic lights there at red, and we're going round to the right.
Nee, gar nicht.
Off we go. Yeah, I'm going to edit this route to actually see if I can cut down the length of time between the stops. To maybe, instead of having a minute, to drop it down to 30 seconds. That probably means that if I do have paying passengers where I have to use the ticket machine, I'm going to have to probably end up chasing time to catch up, which is actually probably a good thing. There we go. We've gone to green. We're turning left. Quick signal left. Got a few wandering up. Still 2 minutes. Again, plenty of time for another little drink while we're waiting that clock counting down, and there's my camera jumping down again. That wandering stick drifting. I mean, I know that there are branded buses in the game, like this is the MEN, the MAN bus that I'm driving, I think. But I don't think the actual AI cars in the game are actually branded. I think they're just generic shapes, those cars that are driving around the city. So we're now going into the green with less than a minute to go, so we could actually go now if we wanted, but again that would get us to the next stop too far ahead of schedule again, and we just have to sit longer again at the next stop to get back on time. And you can see that those trees are just wafting about a little bit in the gentle breeze. Very slightly. Right, I'm going to close the doors. I'm going to signal right, and we're just going to go because the lights are at green. If I can get the bus to move, that is. There we go. Taking it very gentle.
The next station is Post Strape. Change here for 101.
Turning left, stay behind the white line. Oh no, we're not turning left, we're just moving across. Oh, we're at green as well, I wasn't paying attention there. Oh, somebody decided at the last minute that they were getting off. Now, unless you are in the UK and you are of a certain age, you will not know that, you will not know who the name of my driver is. My driver is Stan Butler. And as I said, you have to be a certain age to know who that is. But it is a name connected with buses. That's all I'm saying. quick look at the clock. We're in the red. We're still well ahead of schedule. We've still got the waiting time here where potential passengers could still turn up at the last second. I'm now using my mouse to flick around. That certainly allows you to move a lot quicker than the Xbox controller does. But as I said, mine isn't an Xbox controller, although it is a controller. It's something that if you don't have a steering wheel for this game, that you can get a steering controller, and it's the Thrustmaster Forza Horizon 5 version eSwap XR Pro controller, which is the interchangeable little steering wheel as well as the left stick. I think it was about £100 at the time when I bought this. But that's like the poor man's steering controller that you can get if you don't have the money for a steering wheel or the space for a steering wheel. Right, so we're back in the cab. We're down to 45 seconds. We'll close the doors, and because the lights are at green, we'll just head out. So we're going to go a bit early, but it takes advantage of the green light. But we'll get back to crawling to that next stop.
The next station is Hull Centre. Change here for 101.
Now, the fact that I don't speak German, I can't understand what the comments of the passengers are saying, because I don't think that there's any facility to put English subtitles in the game. Also, the other thing I've never found, and there is. I don't see any option to save the game mid trip. I've not seen the option to save the game. I've no idea where you do that in the menu. I've looked and looked and looked and can't see any option to save the game. So as far as I can see, when you actually start a route and you're driving on it, in order to get your points and everything else at the end of it, you have to complete it. You can't, I can't see a way where you can go and get dinner and come back and then reload the route that you're on or you've started and finish it. I don't see the option to do it. And anybody that's watching who knows how you do it, then you're going to have to tell me in the comments, because I have no idea. It is not readily available if it is there in the game. Quite a few people here. I've survived all of this way, all around the trip, without a paying passenger wanting a ticket. It's bound to happen before the end of the journey. I'm very surprised if I can get away with it. And certainly none of these guys are wanting a ticket. Not long to go now. Quick check on the map. So we started way up top on this circular route, as I've called it, all the way down to the southern end of the city, right back up this way, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've still got 7 stops to go, and that's probably more than half an hour or more still to go. Not only that, combine that with the added time that we're sitting here at the stop, we've got more than 2 minutes to go before we really should leave the stop. I'm just going to sit back, close my eyes, and just waiting that ticking down. So you will, and this is where you find out where you need to adjust the timings of your routes. You have to adjust the timing between buses, every 10 minutes or something like that. But then you have to go down into more greater detail on the actual bus stops and what allowance you're going to give for the time between getting there and leaving that bus stop. I think I've got it set too high at a minute. I think if the increments go down to 30 seconds, I think I need to drop it down to 30 seconds so we're not sitting around like this, waiting the clock ticking down, because as slow as I go, unless I actually crawled around at 10 kilometres an hour, it's the only way you're going to let the clock count down is by actually just stopping the bus somewhere, which you can't really do. You don't want to stop a bus right in the middle of the high street when there's not a bus stop there and just hold up the traffic because you're ahead of schedule. That's a dumb thing to do. So I'm treating it more like a real life shift. This shift started, if you look at the clock, the top right hand screen, it started at 8 a.m. So we're already 90 minutes into this actual route, this circular route that I've done. And we're heading for 2 hours, pretty much, I can guarantee that. So if you want a nice long shift, then this would be the route to make up for yourself. And there's somebody coming into the bus now. If they actually want a ticket, or if they wandered into the back of the bus, or they've wandered into the back. And this is what I mean about hanging off until the last minute, because you can get people wander up just like that. So there's no point, it's not a race to try and get to the finish line. But we picked up that sort of last minute passenger there, which was very handy. Now we'll get back into the cockpit. And once again, as the clock counts down, we'll close the doors, we'll signal left to take out, to come back into the traffic, that is. Not a lot of traffic around here, but that would suggest that the morning rush hour has gone, because we had a good bit more traffic earlier on the route. But the rush hour is now over. The skies having gone a bit more blue sky are now going a bit more grey. Clouds are gathering a wee bit. Close the doors, signal left, and we are ready to go. Straight onto a red light.
Eine Frechheit, wie der fährt.
The next station is Enziangus. Change here for 101.
Enziangus. 4.4 of a kilometre to go. Lights are at green. I'm trying to go as slow as I can. Hopefully this is another red traffic light. And we can wait here a couple of minutes. No, we're not going to wait that long. Cancel that signal. I think, let me try something before I get to this stop. Let me just try something, go to options, hang on. Controls, pick the vehicle. Now, we need to pick the game controller. Steering speed, I'm going to turn that down a bit more. And the center speed is way too high. I think that's why it's flickering as much, jumping around as much. Let's see whether that makes any difference. I don't want the steering speed to be too low, because then I'm going to have to be flicking the controller that more, or that bit more. So let's try that. That hasn't made a jot of difference. At least it doesn't feel like it. I don't know whether that satisfied noises from the passengers or not, but I mean, I did everything right there.